Welcome back. Joshy, it's your favourite day of the week. The best one. You sent me a text this morning saying, guess what day it is? I responded with some expletives, told you that you looked beautiful. It's Team Drop Thursdays, mate. How are you?
I am so good. Hopefully not much carnage tonight. I can't imagine there would be, purely because we've already got the number one thing I needed, and that's pin it out. So welcome back, Soul Rock TDK, but you never know,
I
there could
love
be
it.
some surprises.
Oh, it's fantastic, mate. And if tonight all goes well, I'll have an entire weekend of more Carlton turmoil. Does it get
Oh,
better than that?
please. I hope so. It would
Honestly.
be awesome. It'd be
Honestly,
awesome.
it's fantastic. Fantastic. Like, they're talking about, oh, do they sack him? Do they not? Mate, who cares? The bridges are burning, the castle's falling, and the kingdom's lost. Carlton are absolutely cooked. And nothing gets better than that, mate. It's almost better than a Pies win. What are we here for? Carnage. Surely there's going to be something thrown up. There always is. It'd be quite boring if there's not. So what do you reckon? We just
Yeah.
get straight into it?
Yeah, let's go straight into it, I reckon. Why
Perfect.
not?
Right. Let's just hit the refresh. Hopefully we're not here for 40 minutes like we have been in the past, waiting for the AFL to release the teams. I'm not going to comment on anything, but we are definitely getting rid of that. And we're just going to go straight into it. Travis Boak's in, Logan Evans is in, Hugh Jackson is in, Ali is back, Brian Burton, one of my favourite for 15 plus, is out. Christian Moraes, he's like a tampon, he's always in and out, so he's gone. Jeremy Finlayson, he's gone. Jackson Mead is out. And for this, I'm going to be serious. It's fantastic that Billy Wilson and Flynn Young are playing, but the only relevance here is Matty Carroll is gone, which was a little bit of a surprise. And in good news for TDK owners like you and I, Pito's out.
So good. So good to get TDK Soul Rock again. Yeah, absolutely. Scored a sub 80 last week. I mean, everyone's saying, oh, he's still coming up against the dual ruck set up in Port Adelaide, but Sweet and Visentini, they've played the last two games, and it was against Gawn and Grundy, and Gawn scored 126 or something like that, and Grundy scored 159. So really not restricted at all. Not worried one bit.
You know what I don't like about this?
What's that?
And it's got nothing to do with SuperCoach, gamble responsibly, but the line for TDK was extremely low on posies. As soon as Pitternet went out, the line went straight up because a ruckman feast when they're sole ruck. Grundy shout out last week, 20 plus 230. We love that. But I'm fairly sure for SuperCoach, like, he's going 120, isn't he?
I hope so. I mean, I traded him back in. I don't know if you held him through all that larynx stuff, but
I did. Even though that's soft, mate. You don't need a throat to play AFL.
But yeah, I traded him back in, and I've only had him for 3 weeks, and I've probably still benefited from those 3 weeks. Like the first two scores were 146 and a 120 something. But yeah, hopefully tonight he can go 115 plus again and make it 3 out of 4 tons since I've gone back.
I must say, you're looking absolutely fabulous tonight. Have you done something with your facial hair?
Trimmed the mustache. That's about it.
You're looking good, mate. You're looking good. I'm going to give it one more refresh, just because how many times have we gotten to like the third game in, and it's like, oh, team list updated, yeah? And what are the chances it doesn't update right now? Oh, it might be doing it. But who's the next game? It's Doggies and Sydney, isn't it? Yeah, some big ballers in there. Yeah, like, look, honestly, I pray that Port win. I really do. Not for anything other than the melts. That's about it. Does Chincotta go to Rosie?
I think he goes to Butters. He went to Butters twice last season. Kept Butters to 2 sub tons. They were high 90 scores, but back-to-back 98s last season. But yeah, I think Chincotta's better matchup for a Butters, more that contested type body. I've got Rosie. I could bring in Butters this week, but I'm opting for maybe an Anderson or a Dawson instead, just purely because Butters plays Carlton 2 more times this season. I think he cops Chincotta, and he also plays Geelong again, who kept him to a 50 this season. But yeah, if he goes to Rosie, I'm not going to be happy though.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. Emergencies, like, honestly, doesn't mean anything. We're moving on. Your man, well, you actually named on field at half forward. You're looking good, mate. Looking good.
Yep, bring him in. Are you getting him?
No, I'm not. No,
Oh,
no.
yeah, I'm hoping. Yeah, so he's played 2 full games, not subbed on, not subbed off. Playing his 3rd game in a row looks like non-sub, although we can't officially rule out him not being subbed. There has been some that have been named from the field, but I mean, if this is 3 games in a row on field and playing full game, then 23-year-old, I think he could be decent mid-bench cover for the rest of the season. So I'm pretty happy to get him in.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. There was some rumours going around that Sammy Doherty wasn't going to play or was going to be a laid out. Funny account on X, I think it's Skunks Fantasy Takes. I think every interaction I've had with him, he's abused me. So shout out to him. He's probably
same here.
Yep. But to be fair, I like the banter. It's fantastic. Say what you want. Don't be afraid. Going to move on. We have out Riley, Bice, Joel Amati in, Ollie Florent in, the original Seagull, Jakey Lloyd. In for the Bulldogs is JJ and Riley Sanders, who was a laid out last week. Out for them. I hate seeing this. I know he doesn't play for Collingwood, and we're probably paying 80% of his wage still. I'm not sure on statistics or facts, but seeing Adam Treloar out injured just pulls at the heartstrings. And Joshy Dolan is omitted. In this one, I don't think there's much relevance besides the fact that Matty Roberts is probably going to play wing with the inclusion of Mills back. That's what happened last week, is it not?
Yeah, 100%. Matty Roberts' role's cooked, and he's the one that I am trading to get to that Dawson or Anderson type.
Yeah. No, I literally, if I could afford another trade, I 100% would do the exact same as you. I don't think that Jordan goes to Bontempelli, and he will be my VC this week. But in saying that, if I don't think he goes to Jordan, I reckon our man Bailey Dale is going to cop the tag.
Yeah, I thought this the whole week. I reckon Dale's in a bit of trouble with this Jordan tag here. I just think Bond's too big for him. Ed Richards has been very damaging though, so maybe their role joint on to Ed Richards. But also saying that Jordan's tag this season has not been what it was like last season.
No.
He really hasn't stopped anyone besides Neil or Merritt, to be honest. Which and
I own both of them. Absolute pansies, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I don't fear the Jordan tag as much as I used to. That's definitely for sure.
No. I highly doubt Matty Roberts is going to play half forward. He's going to float through the midfield because of Treloar being out. And I think Tom McCartan hasn't really been taken to the cleaners lately, but Sammy Darcy, absolute freak of nature, surely you're locking him in for 3+, aren't you?
I think McCartan gives up 16 centimeters to Darcy still, or 12 centimeters or something still. So
it's still got a jump.
Yeah, it's a massive and Darcy's reach is just incredible. I'm hoping for another bag. I'm hoping for contested marks, a couple of cheeky hit-outs to advantages, but yeah, I think he's going to be able to play well. And I'm pretty sure the weather's pretty good as well. So a lot of people got Darcy in because he's got a lot of games under the roof in his run home, but I think we should be pretty good weather-wise as well against the Swans at the SCG tomorrow night.
I think it's fairly easy to just slap VC on Bont.
Yeah, I've got Bont, and it's his 250th game as well. I don't know how much it's going to spur him on, but it probably will. And yeah, as I said before, I don't think he cops a tag, but I don't know. I stuffed up my C last week. I had Tristan Cherry as my C, copped that 79. and it was a big mistake. Like I had Brayshaw as the VC, and I've been vocal on this podcast saying that I always make the VC the guy I think will score the most for the round. And this round, I think it's Dacos against West Coast. So as much as I'd love to VC Bontempelli, I think I'm still going to stick with Dacos's VC against the Eagles under the lid. And then worst case scenario, have to roll into like a McRae or Sinclair or something. Purely because like Dacos is coming off at 150 plus when he had literally up his ass the whole game. And he's coming up against West Coast that don't tag, bottom of the ladder team, under the roof at Marvel. I think you could be stuck taking a 125 from Bontempelli tomorrow night, and Dacos goes 150. So
how many? Like, speaking of the little master, how many goal assists is he going to get to Charlie West? Because I'm thinking like the line's got to be at least like 7.5, 8, maybe even 9.
I know you take the piss, but you say you won't.
How you're not on board on it.
What?
I hate how you're not on board with it. I really do.
I genuinely think Charlie West will kick 3 goals on debut. I'll put it at that.
He's kicking
I'll put
7.
3 goals.
Kicking 7. Like, just.
I thought he was meant to debut in May, mate.
I told you earlier, mate, when we get the leaks around here, we share it. And who did I message first? You. And what did you send back? Just abuse. Is there anything else we need to go through with this game? Because I feel like Libba owners have kind of been kissed a little bit. I was a little bit, I guess I was querying the role. I have no idea why Bevo thought he'd be fantastic off halfback, but without Treloar now, surely he's just straight back in the middle.
Yeah, straight back in the middle. Obviously named there. You can't go off team sheets though. But if you actually look at the correlation of his CBAs dropping, it's when Treloar's in. So Libera's got another 6 weeks, maybe even more with Treloar's history, where they're going to get back their Libba that they had at the start of the season.
Absolutely. We're going to move on, mate. Actually, no, I'll throw one out. I really gamble responsibly. Matty Roberts' line was 22.5. You take the unders on that and you take it to the bank. Next game, we've got Gold Coast and Melbourne. Oh, this is a shout out. Bit of a flashback. Alex Sexton is in. Wasn't that fantastic? Owning him for like 3 weeks, trading him, bringing him back in, trading him again, and then him making like 400K. Nicky Holman's out. For Melbourne, we have out Jake Lever, JVR, Caleb Windsor. They've swung the axe here. Harry Sharp's in, Matty Jefferson's in, and Colton Tholstrup is back. Do we have any interest in this game at all?
I was literally about to say, let's just move on, because there is no relevance in those teams. Honestly. One thing I will say, though, is subs are out for tonight, Logan Evans and Flynn Young. So Manny Liddy clear, Billy Wilson clear. Not too sure about any other players that other teams would have. Maybe people went early on Hugh Jackson. He's obviously clear as well. So, some people are coming available now.
Yeah, so irrelevant. I just don't.
We can move on. Like
perfect.
This game is just
that was a given, wasn't it? Henry Huswaite is out. Kennedy is in. Huswaite is shadow realmed. If you've got him, you don't have to be a Mensa genius to work out that he was going to play VFL for the rest of the year. Will Dawson is in for the injured Charlie Comben. That's like clockwork, because I reckon every second week he's injured. What do we got here, mate? Any interest in?
Yes, there is interest for me.
Yes?
Because I don't know where he is. There he is. Someone that went early on Sam Butler. Very good to see him named on the wing. On field, holds his spot against North Melbourne as well. Hopefully a little bit of a spike score. Because I've only got 17 primos this week. So a nice little spike score from a rookie would be very, very valuable this week. But yeah, I think just anyone that's thinking of getting Sam Butler in on the bubble, 126K forward, pretty much green light from here on. Don't think he's going to be a sub.
I agree, mate. I agree. You can see that Colby McKerch is lining up at half forward. That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
There's a certain someone that told me he's going to lose the role. He's going to lose the role.
Well, I want to ask you: are you happy with a mid-90s score from 2 goals and 29 touches? If that's what it takes for him to score 90,
absolutely not. No.
Yeah, that's woeful. And then you look at the week before, what do you have? 24, 25 touches for a 60? I mean, he's going to start using the ball a bit better.
He does.
Otherwise, he's going to be a disaster of a pick. Because 2 goals, 29 touches.
He could have had 60 and kicked 10 for a score of 30. And as long as they beat Carlton, I'm happy. I'm happy. Do you know how good it is watching one of your players that you've picked kick sausages and have a decent game against them? It's nothing compares, mate. Nothing compares. Shout out to my man, John Newcomb. I've never, ever doubted his footballing credentials and ability in my eternity of being on this planet. And I reckon he's going to come good. All right, we'll lock Nuke in for 117 this week, I reckon. Interesting time that they're playing 4:15 down in Tassie. I could think of a million other places I'd rather be. I'm not too sure about you. But yeah, that's enough about these two, surely.
Yeah, I think the only really relevance was Sam Butler keeping his spot named on the wing. And yeah, other than that, I mean, I know you hate drafts, but I think there will be some teams that have James Worpel. And I don't know what the hell's going on with him because he missed the week before the bye, obviously had another week to rest at the bye, and he's still not back. So that's a 3-week corky. Very, very strange.
It's either absolute crap or it's bleeding. Simple as that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, I'm no accredited doctor, but it doesn't take a genius to work out either something's wrong with the corky or it's,
a
load of absolute horse tripe. Yeah, we're done with this game, are we not?
Yeah, done.
Yep,
move on.
Perfect. Next game, mate, we have the Pies v Eagles. In Charlie West, Chazzy Dean, out Bona Frampton, Bo McCreary. Charlie West, he'll kick 7 on debut.
It's a big out for the Eagles.
A very big out, yes. I love how you say it. So French. Makes us sound like we're, in that high echelon of podcasts. Brady Hoff, Joe Shanahan for his debut is going to play forward. Out Oscar Allen. Well, I think he's literally just signed his contract at Brisbane. I have no idea why they continue to play him. You can say the last name. Tyrell.
Dua. I think it's Dua, but it could be Dua. I don't watch enough West Coast games to actually know, to be honest.
Yeah, no, honestly. All that says to me is he's out. That means a certain someone right here, number 45, is just going to go. Yes?
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously with him out as well with an injury, Ryan Murrich is in that back pocket again.
Absolutely. You are going to play so well. He needs to play back there. They can't play him on a wing when you've got McStay West, who is 19, but built literally steroid test that kid. He has guns bigger than our futures, mate. He is huge. Huge. And then you've got Checkers. Membry, I'm surprised, has actually held. I thought he might have been sub, but that's a very tall forward line. And, I mean, what are we saying? Dacos probably 35? Who's going to go with him?
I don't think anyone can go with him, to be honest.
No, I genuinely... Does Hoff play a tagging role?
I think he's done once in his whole career.
Or do you just concede that he's going to have 30 and you just try and mitigate the damage?
Yeah, I think you do. I think
midfield. Or do they just say Harley Reid just goes with him until he blows up?
They have not tagged all season, so I think you'll be fine. Yeah.
There is a chance that my man, Mr. Bo Peanut Allen, might be sub. Although it probably should be Hunt. I have no idea how he's still getting a game. McCarthy's not going to be sub. They'll go dual rucks against Cameron, even though, like, let's be honest, Cameron is going to destroy both of them. I think Brockman plays because he's been good. And then, honestly, like, yuck. That's the only way I can describe how he's been this year. And Lockie Sullivan will probably be sub for us. I don't see anyone else.
Did you just say yuck to Lipinski or Hunt?
No, Hunt.
Oh, I was going to say, because Lipinski was awesome last week.
No. Lipinski is so underrated. I questioned him. Yeah. This isn't SuperCoach related. I questioned him when he had his down patch of form, and it wasn't so much his disposal efficiency. It was the attack on the ball, and very easy to get pushed off of it. But no, his skills are elite, and if anybody wants to have an exchange on that, literally look at the statistics. Genuinely look at them.
I think he's one of the most underrated wingmen in the comp, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's a really good player.
Is there any way that a Jack Graham, a Hutchinson, Clay Hall's named on field, which is, I mean, he deserves a chance. It's probably, 15 rounds too late, to be fair. But is there any chance that like a Tim Kelly, a Graham, a Hutchinson, even potentially a Duggan do a half on Dacos and then swap at halftime? Because I can confidently say there is no player that's named that can go with Dacos in the entire game.
Well, I remember early in the season, Clay Hall, when he was getting his first couple of games, was playing as that defensive mid. Very, very light tag, to say the least. Yeah. I think it was against Brisbane, and I think there was another early game he did as well. And he wasn't that great at it. Jack Graham does have the ability to do it. He did a little bit of Richmond. But honestly, like, Windhager's tag is one of the best tags in the comp. Like, look what he did to Bont the week before Dacos. And Dacos still scored 150. That goal he kicked, Windhager could not have been closer to him.
No.
And he still kicked that goal. So I just think he's coming up against the worst team in the competition. And he's under the lid, just come off a 150 at the exact same venue the week before. I could be wrong, but I think he is just the number one VC target for me this week. See if you want to VC someone else, but I always love to go to the guy that I think is going to top score for the round. And Dacos, I don't think anyone's going to be able to stop him this week from this West Coast team.
No, I agree. And I don't know if you saw, because we don't really talk besides abusing each other or SuperCoach, but on the couch, the analysis, I think it was by David King. I cannot remember exactly who, but he said that he's worked out when to run. And that sounds so simple, but when to burst, when to go, and when to just jog around the contest, etc. I think that's just really attributed to how he beat Windhager. Like, that's just, that might be an absolute load of rubbish and people couldn't care less, but geez, I get excited when you talk about how good Nick is.
The last thing. That's the one thing. Like, Jack Graham, Clay Hall, Liam Duggan, Jack Hudson. Maybe Jack Hudson is a different kettle of fish compared to the three I just mentioned. But the first three I mentioned, like David King said, none of them are keeping up with Dacos.
No.
Both speed and endurance. Hutchinson, potentially, but I think even Hutchinson one-on-one with him, he's going to be too weak to play on the Dacos. Like, I don't think he's going to be able to tag him efficiently. But yeah, Duggan, Hall, and Graham, they're not going to be able to keep up both endurance-wise or speed-wise.
I've got a question for you. How many goals is Chazzy West kicking?
I told you 3. He'll kick 3. If we're being serious for 1 second in your life, he'll kick 3 goals.
I agree. But on this podcast, I'm never serious, so I'm taking the line at 6.5. He's kicking 7. He will take Harry Edwards to the cleaners. Mate, I'm telling you, this kid's thighs and quads are genuinely bigger than, like, they're bigger than your chest, mate. And I know you skip leg day, but you don't skip chest day. Right, let's move on. That's a throwback. Do you remember Rhett Bazzo?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
sorry, I do laugh. I actually feel bad for that guy. I think he lost both his parents in the same year. I'm always going to have a soft spot for that guy.
He's been unlucky, and life-wise, like, not even going to comment on it, because that's just absolutely disgusting, and no one should ever go through that. That's the only time that I will ever be serious. Richmond v Adelaide in Jacob Blight, McKelty Lafau, James Tresize. Oh my God, my man Pedler, injured, out. You had a fitness test, is Gornsky, Shadow Realm. In comes Chris Burgess, Chase Jones, James Peatling, and Zach Taylor. This is the start of Sunday. Oh, that's going to be a riveting 3:20 Sunday, Arvo, isn't it?
A disaster of a game. I mean,
clear your Sunday. Sit down for that. God.
Hopefully a Rankin bounce back game up against Richmond. Again, we don't trust Team CSB is named in that midfield. And I think there's been a few whispers on Twitter this week. Obviously, just your average Joe's having a chat. But I think Rankin will get his CBAs upped again. I think he's going to get his mid-roll upped again. And on face value, his CBAs look like they haven't dropped as much because they haven't. But I feel like his actual stoppages have dropped a lot. Like he's still attending the same amount of CBAs he has been, even with Berry out the side. But I feel like the last couple of weeks he's been going to those CBAs and then straight forward, like your Shy Bolton or even Dusty in his like later ends of the career. So I think this week we're actually going to see Rankin play midfield because a lot of people are saying that and Scott Thompson was big on this as well. Adelaide are lacking that star midfielder, and I think Rankin is that star midfielder alongside Dawson that is going to be able to change the game. They don't need him up forward. Like you look at this forward line, you got Fogarty, you got Tex, you got Phil Thorpe, you got Keys. On the there's also another one in there as well, Rochelle on the bench, and then you've even got Neil Bullen. But I think the first I mentioned, the Fogarty, Walker, Phil Thorpe, Keys, and Rochelle, all in the top 30 goal kickers in the league, and they're coming off a bye. Like, they don't need Rankin up forward, and Rankin still kicks goals from the midfield. When he plays midfield, he still kicks his 1 or 2 goals, and this season, I think he's even kicked more goals rotating mid-forward than he has when he's been playing more forward. So I'm really hoping a spike score against Richmond this week, back in the midfield, but yeah, you're right. This game's going to be very, very boring.
And to be fair, you just highlighted Rankin kicking goals. He has had some of the worst set shots I've ever seen.
His ball use has been really bad this year, which is so strange. Like, he's usually not a bad user, but the last, I'm going to say, 8 to 10 week patch, it's actually been that long. It's been horrible. I think it started around that Collingwood game. I remember against you guys at the G, he was using it horrifically. Like, he could have actually won that game off his own boot in the second half. Where he had about 4 shots to go. I reckon he converted 1, if that.
I think he kicked 1 and 2 out in the full. And we're not talking from the boundary. We're talking 30 to 40 metres out slide angle type operation.
Yeah, it was horrific. So, that's the only really relevance I have from this game. Hopefully a bounce back from Rankin. And as I said at the top of the pod, Dawson is probably one of those players that I'm thinking of bringing this week against Richmond. So he could also be a relevant player for me as well.
I would love to VC Dakes into Dawson.
Well, that's what my plan would be if I bring Dawson in. If not, it will be McRae as my backup, just because I'm steadfast on Dacos being my VC.
Yep. No, I like it. All right, let's move on. Freo v St Kilda in Isaiah Dudley, Sean Darcy, Hodor is back, and Oscar McDonald in Hugo Garcia, Liam Henry, Jack Carroll, Harry Boyd, Jimmy Webster. I don't think Boyd will play. I highly doubt it. I think Freo are going to absolutely obliterate them. Is there anything that we need to go into in this game? Brayshaw's probably going to cop Windhager, you would think. Although the way it's been going, it's probably going to be so wrong. Jack McRae's just going to do his thing. Jack Steele played one of the worst games I've ever seen a decent footballer play last week, so I expect him to bounce back. And that's about it, isn't it, Joshy?
Yeah, this one's a bit boring.
I
as
agree.
well as the Melbourne Gold Coast game. Harry Boyd extended bench. Imagine if he could just come out of nowhere and play this week. But I mean, even if he did, I can't use him because my ruckmen are both playing this week. But
well, there you go. Yeah. I don't think there's anything here. Yeah, I mean, Jack Sinclair's probably going to bounce back. You would expect that to happen. I thought Toro was good last week. I thought he did some nice things against the Pies. But besides that, surely Fife's going to be the sub. That man, I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's allergic to kicking the football.
Oh, yes. This is big time. Like he can still find it. Can still find the ball, no worries. Can still get the contested pill. But yes, this is massive. He cannot kick the ball. And it was pointed out on the commentary. Like it's moments where he is completely uncontested and he's looking around like that, trying to find like the handball. And I don't know if it's a lack of confidence in his kick or
if he's just going to launch it and the string's going to go.
I don't know if it's lacking confidence in his body to kick, or if it's lack of confidence in his kick itself, if it's going to hit the target, or if he's just a bit out of touch and rusty. But he can still find the ball very, very well. But he needs to start being able to trust himself kicking. But I think he's just been their designated sub for the last couple of weeks. It could be Erasmus as well, but I mean, you know how much I love Fife. He's on the hall right there. So
you've even got Elijah Sardis up there as well, also.
Oh, no, I love Elijah Sardis, my favourite player, going to Richmond next year or Collingwood. But
if he comes to the Pies, mate,
even if he comes to the Pies, he's not getting a game at Essendon. How is he going to get a game at Collingwood?
I don't know. Maybe when we're 17-0 and play our C grade side in the 18th round next year. I don't know.
I fear he's out Finn McRae, mate.
I don't know. I reckon he's a little bit better than Finn McRae, to be fair.
I think he's been
we had this comparison with Paddy Dow, and the clubs have ruined them. Carlton ruined Dow, and Essendon have ruined Sardis. Simple as that.
Yeah, sorry, I just read a comment that's just got me completely off track here. But Hawksy has just said, fellas, 1,600 trade-ins for Lipinski. What's the consensus there? That cannot be correct. We're talking about Lipinski being a good winger. I think he is one of the most underrated wingers in the comp. I agree with you there. But 1,600 trade-ins, I know he scored well last week, but what the hell?
That is a disaster. I don't get that. We're going to go to some comments now, mate. We literally have 27 minutes to go, and then we're out of here because DR, he hasn't paid our invoice yet, and if you want the best in the business, you got to be timely on those matters. Hawksy, Joshy and Scooby, we are back, yes. They're saying Will Ashcroft 31% as a forward, being gaslit into thinking he'll get DPP. He won't. No, I don't believe he will. I genuinely don't.
Is 31% accurate? You are usually pretty bang on with the
I'm not into. If you want to take this second question, I'll find out for you.
Connor, hey guys, my two ideas for trades this week to begin finishing my team are Neil, Johnson and Clark to JHF, McRae, Liddy, or Neil, McKercher, Johnson to JHF, McRae and Mills. Ooh, I think I like the second one here. I mean, the first one, you get two rookies out, you bring two primos in. But the second one, McKercher, as was said at the top of the pod, he's scored a 60 in his first game with that role. And then the second game took him 29 disposals and 2 goals to score a 90 odds. So I think he's a fine out if you're able to get in a Mills, and then also that facilitating JHF and McRae. I like that a lot. Scobie boy, go to the next question while you're still looking.
So no, it is 31%, but I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, it's not going to happen. You just keep going, mate, because I missed the first half of this.
3 trades left. McCarthy in the flex. I'm the exact same. I've got McCarthy in the flex. I think that's going to be fine. We had this, not debate, but discussion on, I think, the Monday pod where we said, is 22 primos a completed team? I think we both kind of settled to technically it is because you got only 22 players count. So I think McCarthy in the flex is fine. 3 trays left. That's where I'm going to be at as well. So yeah, I reckon go ahead with those trade plans.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'm taking your advice on that. To be fair, every time I've asked you for advice, you haven't stitched me up. I'm just waiting for it. Cooper Gaylor says the bromance is back. Oh, you should see our DMs, mate, because it is the exact opposite of that. Unless the Pies win, then it gets a little bit, NSF.
Everyone wants a little insight here. The reason my messages to Scobes aren't the friendliest is because I'll wake up on a Wednesday morning on my way to work. It's cold. I'm depressed with everything that's going on, and I'll just get this stupid message from Scobes saying, "Good morning, Josh. How are you today?" with an exclamation mark. Which, like, it's just just be normal, mate. Be normal. I think that was just
I am normal. If we want an insight, hi Josh, good morning. How are you? No response. Nothing. You're like, and then this one, hi Josh, hope you're having a good day. F off. I was like, you caught me at a good time, mate. I had a spare second. How are you been? I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night and Charlie West making his debut. What the F is wrong with you? That's it. So I'm on the rough end here.
It's because when you're too positive, I get a bit worried that someone's taking your phone, could be the misso, could even be the kids. I just get a little bit worried that someone's taking your phone because that's not the Scobie I know. You're a bit too abusive for that, but let's move on.
That's defamation for sure. I am not. Roddy Todd, shout out to you, mate. You are a superstar. Hawksy says Pedler is gone. Joshy's fancy mate Duar is out. Yep. Cooper Gaylor says trade Neil or Merritt. Jesus, I'd probably trade Neil, I think.
Oh, that's tight. I reckon Merritt only because of his SuperCoach files run. Like if you're in a few,
I need to go for literally 1 minute. You're going to answer this one and go into the detail that you bore me with every single time that I say I hate your captain.
He's
I'm so sick of hearing it.
He's off, idiot. All right, this one, Neil or Merritt. I reckon it's Merritt, just purely because, like, if you play SuperCoach finals, any cash leagues, the run home isn't great. He's got Geelong. He's probably going to cop Mullen in that first week of finals. He's got Winhager and then he's got Chincotta. Also has Jordan before that. The next 2 weeks are pretty good after the bye. He's got Gold Coast and Richmond. Then he's got Bedford. Dogs, you think, there's probably no tag, but he scored a 60-odd when we got spanked a few weeks ago against the Dogs at Marvel. But yeah, just purely because of those reasons, I'd probably go with Merritt out. I have no control of the comments, but we'll keep going. James P says, evening, brother. Hello to you too. Regan Hislop, JHF and McRae. I'm going to go for McRae. I really like McRae's run home. I know it hasn't affected his scoring too much, but JHF, his CBAs has been pretty down since he's come back. I think it's been 9% and 20-odd%. So I'd definitely go McRae there. Rogue Riot can get a 23rd, but would go down to 2 trades using 3. Yeah, there we go. You can keep reading this out. This is what we're up to. Exactly that.
Oh, geez, I'm good. Can get a 23rd, but would go down to 2 trades using 3. Don't feel comfortable going down to that level of trades, but the alternative is going down to 3 and upgrading a fake primo. My question would be, why do you need to trade then? Why is the alternative going down to 3 and upgrading a fake primo? I don't get that.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Burner says, thinking of looping Mills and McCarthy at D6, got Mills this week. Is it worth the risk that maybe they could both potentially go 100 each? Yes, absolutely it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Dacos into Jackson, like it. Ariel Pink sticking up for me, mate. He said he was going to debut in May, but he had a foot injury pop up. Yep, Yep, I'll take that. G-Bags, Superstar. Hey, fellas, thoughts on using a boost to go from Neil to Bont? I'll have 3 trades left after the moves I'm making this week. I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, I don't think you can either.
No. Verns, shout out to Verns. We absolutely adore you and love you, mate, and we can't wait to have you back on Monday night for Rage Trade Mondays. Hope you're doing well. Hawksy says, Matty Jefferson about to become the cheapest bloke in the league. Check his price and break even. I assume that he's going to hit 99.1k, surely. Joshy, if you had to choose a VC for tonight, is it Butters or TDK? Because I'm on TDK.
TDK, spoke about earlier in the pod, potentially Chincotta going to Butters, and his poor record the last few games. So TDK, so a ruck.
Wonderful. Burners, I forgot I have Roberts. I'll just loop in with McCarthy. Yep, perfect. Crimson actually says Marriage was named in the back pocket in the Eagles' last game as well. Lined up on the wing. Holter sub again. We know the sub can be taken from any position, but it's very unlikely that it's going to be on field. And I think Marriage needs to play in the back line because that Pies forward line is far too tall. So, yeah, that's just my opinion. Could be completely wrong, though. Jerbs, shout out to you, mate. He says, holy Hustweight, it's Scobes and Triple J's Jack James. I hope you're both well. Joshy, do me a favour and just Google Triple J Jack James for me, would you?
All right, here we go again. For those of you who don't know, Scobes has probably in the last 2 months or so has compared me to about 1 million fucking people, and he's lucky that I just cop it because most people wouldn't. But Triple J Jack James, oh my god. Moving on.
You liked it? You liked it?
It's
been brought to my attention that the other Swordplay boys are doing another live in regards to the game day. I don't know anything about that, Joshy. I don't think you do either. But if you're interested in game day and the game day squads, fairly sure that's going on currently. And if you prefer game day to SuperCoach chat, literally just go to the channel and click on that live and you'll get your fix from there. Jason Wickens says, love the content, boys. Got 4 trades and 18 playing this week. Would you move Carroll to Liddy for another score and to make some money? Yes, I would, Jace. I would do that. Absolutely. Carl Meany, Lipinski, best in comp going inside forward 50 and Gats second best is something like 10%. Yeah, spot on.
Yep. Is that an actual stat? Because I don't know about that. I think I'd choose a lot of players ahead of Lipinski to deliver inside 50.
Do you want me to prove you wrong? Do you want me to prove you wrong?
I'll take your word on it, but just like
I genuinely hand on heart, it is 100% spot on, and I'll send you the stats when we finish. Yep.
Yeah, that's completely surprised me. That surprised me. Yeah.
Crimson says Hoff will do a job on Dacos. That's what I thought, but honestly, I hope they've got a drip and something ready at halftime because Dakes is going to run Hoff to the cleaners. Brandon the Don Unaka says, which is better for finals cover? 1 McCarthy, Liddy Butler, Flex Mills, forward Sam Darcy. No. Literally that. I don't even need to read the second question. The second option. No, it's top one. So far in with the top one.
Yeah, I agree. Looking at that.
Jakey Wood, hey fellas, how are you doing? I scored 5 trades left. Do I go down to 3 or 2? Do I get out Matt Carroll and Elijah Hewitt for Liddy and Darcy, or do I use 3 trades, get Clark out for Butler? I just use the 2.
Yeah, so would I.
Which is better for finals cover? Oh, we just went over that. No, it's the first one, mate. First one, easily. Easy, in my opinion. Would you rather VC Butters Rosie tonight or Bont tomorrow night? You go Bont.
Yeah, Bont.
Drafts, Joshy, this is yours.
I'm just like processing in my head who every team is playing. I mean, this you could answer this too because like they're all very relevant classic players. But looking at this, I think Richards could cop Jordan. I think Butters could also cop Chincotta tonight,
The
and
answer is Hewitt.
Sarong could also cop Winhager. So yeah, Hewitt against Port Adelaide.
Hewitt.
And by the way, how the hell do you have that midfield draft? You must be flying.
Yeah. Yeah. The Don says JHF and Darcy with 99k rookies, Lydian Archer May or Mills, Lydian Bow Allen Butler. With 73k in the bank for Oliver Roberts sideways, 5 trades playing for Cash League. JHF and Darcy with 99k rookies and Archer May or Mills, Lydian Bow Allen Butler. First one. Tristy Collard says, what's happened? Have you read something? Your eyes are going a little bit.
Yeah, Tristan Sherry just signed to 2031.
Yeah, right. Fair call. Deserves it.
Yeah, that's a deserves it 100%. But like, you always raise the eyebrows when you think about like the contracts that go into the 2030s because they're just massive ones. So yeah, I just saw that and yeah, good on him.
Tristy C wants to know trade. I assume that's Max Hall to Butler or Archer May as a cash grab. Break-even 61. May more cash at 99k, but not playing. So wait, not sure. Nah, go to Butler.
Butler.
Hawksy can afford ranking this week. He has a final F6 upgrade, which means he can get an extra injury trade, but he can't afford a JHF, McRae, or any of those. 452k or under to save the trade. Save the trade. Don't go ranking out on a limb.
Yeah, save the trade. Like I said at the start of the pod that ranking potentially gets back. More midfield minutes, more stoppage minutes, but you couldn't possibly bring him in on the form that he's currently in.
No way. Hawksy, this is the Lipinski one there. There is no consensus. I'd assume that's casuals. No offense to Lipinski because he's integral to Collingwood's, I guess, form going forward and what they've achieved so far this year, but he's not a SuperCoach option. Like, genuinely, no. Maybe in Joshy's part of the woods in draft, but not classic. Carl Meany says, why couldn't Sardis get games elsewhere the same way Ned Long has? He's a quality extractor. Kicking is not ideal, but he can win the footy. Please don't compare Elijah. No, I'm joking. I completely understand where he's coming from. But Joshy, you've said multiple times that you believe your coach only sees him as an inside mid, and there's just not a spot there. And I guess a club would have to take a chance on actually playing him in a position that he should be playing, but hasn't played there ever.
Yeah. My prime example is that Lowell has had 3 games in a row. Like, hopefully Lowell has a great future in the sport. But he should not have got his debut. Like, he shouldn't have. He's been very average at best. Yes, he's kicked a few goals across his 3 games, but in terms of possessions and stuff, he's been really average. And the thing as an Essendon fan that pisses me off the most is in Silas's draft year, go have a look when Kaltumi was covering everything Elijah Silas. I think he had him every single Phantom form guide at number 3 above your likes of Harry Sheasel. And he said he was inside, outside, mid. He can play wing, he can play inside. Why are we playing Lowell on a wing when we've got Elijah Siders sitting in the VFL getting 41 touches? It's so frustrating. I get the comparison to Ned Long, but I mean Collingwood's one of the best teams in the comp. But with the goalie out, you might hate me saying this, but besides your Dacos and Penderbury, I think your midfield's probably your weak point. So I think that's why
I would genuinely agree with you. 100%. 100% agree with you. Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's why Ned Long has been able to get a go, and God, he's made the most of it. But with Essendon, we've had so many injuries this year, but none of them have been in the midfield. So I look at our midfield, and it's actually not that bad. It's a pretty good midfield. You got Merritt, you got Caldwell, Parrish when fit, you got Durham, and then you've also got Nick Martin in there in the last few weeks, and he has been awesome. So it's one of our stronger points on the field, so I can understand why he's not playing as inside midfielder, but play him on the wing. Like, again, I'll reiterate, Luan Lawal is in our team on the wing. Like, I would much rather Elijah Siders, 100,000,000% much rather Siders on that wing. But for some reason, he's just the inside mid that gets 56% game time when he's on the field. So it's just so frustrating.
Yeah, you've summed it up really well. Like, and yeah, like it's making me sick talking about Essendon so much. Max, I'll butcher that. Max, he says, "Hey, legends, enjoying the stream." Well, I'm glad, mate. Would you rather go down to 3 trades and bring in McRae, or 4 and bring in Rankin/Chad instead? No, you go down to 3 and bring in McRae. That's exactly what I'm doing. Exactly what I'm doing.
I love McRae's run.
I think we both agree that Liddy can be covered for the rest of the season, yes?
I agree.
Lizard King, 16 primos, 18 fielded, not good. Mills in for Neil or Merritt, leaving 3 trades and 170k bank. Oh, I'd do it for Neil. I'd honestly do it for Neil.
Yeah, I would too, but I'm still on the trade Merritt over Neil train.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, fair enough. Mickey says, Mills McRae in for Neil Roberts, 4 trades left, or 2, Naz, Bo, Allen, McRae in for Clark, Neil Roberts, 3 trades left. I'd probably go second option. Second option, honestly.
Yeah, I think so.
Cal says, which do you guys prefer? Any extra 23rd with Mills and McKercher and going down to 3 trades, or getting Naz plus McCarthy as flex? I'd probably go Naz and McCarthy.
Yeah, Naz and McCarthy for sure.
Your mate Dalek says he's just tuned in, hopes this as well. Would you approve of going Neil/Merritt and Clark to Brayshaw and Butler? Yes, 100%. It would leave him 4 trades left.
I love that.
He also says, would you go Bont or Jerry into Dacos this week? I'd go Bont.
Yeah, I'd go Bont as well.
I would do this trade, 100%. Neil, Johnson, and Brock out for Mills, JHF, and Liddy.
Yep, you're making 2 upgrades.
Geordie L says, trade Liddy for Zach Johnson or Dua.
I'd trade. As an Essendon fan, I think Johnson's a very big chance to get dropped post-bye, but I don't know if there's any news about what this injury is that Dua's out for, because I think that's a massive factor in this. Because if that's a long-term injury, then you're obviously trading Dua.
Yeah, I think you're right on that, actually. Carl's just saying that champion data stat on Lipinski, JHF is up there. Swifty's going VC TDK, which I don't blame you. Bont into Dacos or Dacos into Dawson. Placey, go Dacos into Dawson. Simple.
Dacos into Dawson.
Benny Richardson says, would you go Sam Darcy over either Brayshaw or Dawson at flex? Nah, get Dawson. Get Dawson.
Yeah,
you get Dawson. It's simple. Pick 2 to keep out of Carroll, Clark, Johnson, Keeler, and Clay Hall. Pick 2 to keep. You keep the ones that are playing. So Keeler, Clay
I'd keep Clark.
Oh, Clark and Keeler. Yeah.
Yeah.
When does the game start, mate? Is it 6 minutes? No, lucky, because we're done in literally 6 minutes. So let's get through these.
Yeah, let's finish 7:20. I needed to do my team. I need 10 minutes to look at my team, get Liddy in.
Get yourself in there. That's interesting. Balupa, he's got to bring one of Bont, Mills, and JHF next week with 5 trades, which is the most likely to stay close to their break even. Bont, yes. Mills won't, because it's nothing. Yep, no, I like that. Pedlar, no, get rid of Pedlar instead of Clark or Johnson. No, get rid of the injured one. Yep.
Yeah.
Bont, Fraser, May for Whitfield, Johnson. No, I hate that. Don't trade Whitfield.
I'm just laughing. People still have Fraser. I can't believe that.
Don't trade Whitfield. No.
wait, bringing in Fraser. No, sorry.
No.
No.
Tristy C says, worth trading Bolton or Warner out to get McRae sideways, but both have looked pretty poor. Depends on how many trades you've got left. Just literally DM one of us on Twitter, mate. Cal V says, sorry, it will be Darcy and McKercher at flex with McCarthy as cover on death.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yep. No, absolutely. The Don says, last one, boys, thanks. Butler for cover forward or Bo Allen mid-def with no forward cover? No, get Butler. Get Butler. Yep. Yeah. Cal says he's going to be looping McCarthy with a mid-forward in my mid, like Rankin or JHF. I don't mind that, actually.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't mind that. And that's very well played. You've set your team up really well. McKercher or Bolton for McRae? I'm going Bolton on this. Josh, you're probably going to say McKercher?
No, out of these two, I'd say Bolton. Bolton's been really poor. And he's got St Kilda this week. I know the last game they played at was at Marvel in round 8, but he scored a score of 5 in a full game against St Kilda.
Yeah, that was insane.
6 weeks ago. So yeah.
Did you know?
I tried Bolton.
Do you know that Bo Allen scored a -12 in a full game of AFL football? Oh, we won't go there.
Some guy on X ruined his confidence for about 12 weeks after that. Some comment about Peanut or something, but
you should never ever criticize a player's performance ever, even
Absolutely
if it's constructive.
Not.
You should never.
Even if you call them a butcher, you can't call them a butcher.
Oh, we're going to get backlash for that. Coops, SuperCoach, Darcy or Horn Francis this week. Might not be able to get the other one because I think I'll have to wait 2 weeks for the one I don't get. Who do you get this week, Joshy?
Darcy. I like his run.
Matty Sav says, hey lads, thinking of Pedler, Johnson, Clark to Sam, Darcy, Liddy and Butler. Lock that in. You're not thinking about it. You're doing it, mate. And we're going to finish off with Noah Lewis says, top 3 VCs. My top 3 at number 1, if you can, is Nick Dacos.
Yep.
Like, you don't need the other 2. You don't.
I agree. But we'll give the other 2. We'll give it 2 and 3.
All right. Don't mind.
2.
Yep.
Third one. I don't know about if you've got a third, but I think Dacos and Bont are the 2 obvious ones.
TDK. Bont number 1. Dacos number 1, Bont TDK. That's what I'd be doing.
I'm not against the TDK one at all, to be honest. I mean, you've got 12 minutes to do it, but I still very, very much strongly say put the VC on Dacos and just go from there.
Geez, that would have went dangerous if you had continued that sentence and didn't correct you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Where can the listeners find you?
Find me on XJG232_, and you also see me again, Rage Trade Mondays with your good-looking self.
We will definitely be there, probably around 7. We haven't decided yet. I'm sure after some, expletive text messages, we will decide. But thank you, everyone, for joining this evening. Don't forget to check out the channel. There's a heap of content on there. Check out the Third Man Up boys as well, Rookie Data Dump, and more importantly, Captain's Corner. If you see a player's name that you own and they have green in most of the slots, simple, just do it. 9 times out of 10 it works. Check out the website as well, and make sure we all get behind. I can't even be serious. I was going to say make sure we get behind Carlton because it's not good to see them be like this. But it is absolutely fantastic. It is the best. It is euphoric. Anyway, you can find me on X at Scobie __. Dakes VC 150. Charlie West is kicking an absolute bag. And we'll be back here again for Rage Trade Mondays. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we'll see you then.